All right, what's going on, PLC family? It's week 7, so we are officially 50% done with the regular season, and we have 50% of the regular season to go. We are also post mid-season, which mid-season is historically a really great opportunity to make some really great improvements to your team, and I think everyone did that too. I've admittedly not been super involved in the wire this year, so I don't know what everyone did, but I'm sure everyone came out feeling a lot better about their team than they did in week 6. So I've seen some of the lengths of these conversations, and I'm excited. This is going to be a really cool listen because there's so much to talk about. Where do people take it? Do they talk about standings? Do they talk about the midseason? Do they talk about teams? Do they talk about schedules? Do they talk about trades that fell through? Do they talk about wire acquisitions that were good or bad or indifferent? Like, what are people going to talk about? I've seen some of the links, and I'm excited to hear what's on everyone's mind. But we do have a couple contributors this week, which is really exciting for me to see. And I think that's it. So I hope you guys enjoy this longer episode. And yeah, see everyone in chat, and I hope you enjoy. Peace.
We're back from mid-season break. There's a lot to talk about. There's stuff to talk about before mid-season. There is stuff to talk about during mid-season, like trades and such. And there is also, obviously, the week we're going into, that match, we're also going to talk a little bit about without giving stuff away. Prior to mid-season, we had a incredible match versus Brian. That was week 6, and going into that, we were 0-5, and I was not, prior to that, I was really starting to, lose my confidence, and it just hadn't been fun for me, because I started the season feeling like, this team's kind of decent, and I really quickly lost my faith in it, so I had been really depressed, and that just doesn't feel good. But this match versus Brian gave me a renewed confidence boost, and honestly, I definitely feel better. There's still a long way to go, but my win streak is starting, and hopefully we can keep it going. So, talking about the match with Brian, what happened was that, first off, there was the team preview. I saw his team and I was like, you beat me with Hazards alone, buddy. Sure, there's Tatsudoso, that combo can be deadly. Turns out it never hit the field, at the same time, so, Dondoso never got the Omni boost. So that made it way easier to deal with, and there was also the fact that he did not outslow me in Trick Room. So that was a surprise. I honestly expected him to be, minus speed nature and 0 IVs, but I don't think he was. So yeah, I ended up outspeeding him in Trick Room, and Yuko the Miss Mages absolutely cleaned up. Obviously, she came in after Trick Room was done, but the effort for taking down Dondoso goes to my Code 02, the Porygon 2. Absolutely insane match. And yeah, Yugo the Miss Mages came in and cleaned up, so we won that 4-0, and absolutely huge win on our part. Biggest win we've had in PLC history, because we don't count that one versus Ty that happened in Season 8. We don't feel good about that one. That should not have happened, but I guess Ty got his revenge when he fought us earlier this season. So yeah. We are 1-5 going into mid-season break. During mid-season break, first off, none of the picks we had originally planned made it to us because, well, we overslept. It's simple as that. Passed out a couple hours before freaking mid-season went live, and yeah. Our picks got sniped. I had originally planned to get Toggle, which could set Sun and also work pretty well in Trick Room, and then I had planned to get one of the Lilligans to make use of Sun. That didn't happen, so what do I do for backup? I went and got Hisuian Arcanine as my third asterisk. Hisuian Arcanine is an incredibly cool Pokemon. It has Rock Hit, so it can do recall moves without actually taking damage. And like, if you know anything about those recall moves, like they can hit pretty freaking hard. Sure, their accuracy may not be the best all the time, but they definitely hit hard, and I avoid the punishment of recoil. So that's pretty cool. And before that, actually, there is another wire pick I have to talk about. Before mid-season wire itself, that was me picking up Venomoth and dropping Rapska. This is really huge for me because now I also have redirection. So that's extremely cool. Because then I can like do stuff like have a Pokemon set up, and Venomoth can distract my opponent with Rage Powder, so we don't take damage during setup. Like, and why do I say that? I say that because we also have picked up the Azumarill, and Azumarill is huge power belly drum most of the time. So we've combined with Rage Powder, like, I mean, figure it out yourself. Rage Powder will just distract the opponent from Azumarill, and Azumarill just gets 3 belly drums up. And a belly drum Azumarill with huge power? I mean, you can just guess yourself. Will it hit hard, or will it hit like a cushion? Yeah, that's what I thought, right? We picked up Hisuian Arcanine, as I mentioned, for mid-season wire, and we also got a Pawmot that we got through trades. Shout out to Jordan for wanting to trade that. Pawmot is really huge, and it has actually been a really fun Pokemon for me to use in the past. Pawmot has it's another fake outer, and it also has knockoff, but it's also, more importantly, it has revival blessing. But unlike Rapska, it's actually fast. Sure, it may not be able to take as many hits as Rapska can, but at least it has the speed for it. So plus it also hits hard. So yeah, and also another pick I have to talk about is our pick that went into this weekend. When mid-season wire ended, we had a regular weekend wire, and I ended up picking up Chandelure. Chandelure is incredibly strong, and can also like be utilized in Trick Room. Also, if I don't want to like try and use Trick Room stuff, I could also like go stuff like Scarfed and such with it. Could also do a bulky Calm Mind setup. Point is, you don't want to like take Chandelure special attack lightly. So that has been the wire picks, and now we are going into week 7 versus SB, formerly known as the S-Boy Showdown. Now we call it S-Boy versus S-Girl. Looking at SB's team, it's definitely scary. Like, I see Salamence and I think Moxie Sweep. Because that's just Salamence. Like, obviously he could be Intimidate, but like, honestly, like, a Moxie Sweep would be insanely scary. He also has Illumise, which can do prankster stuff. So that can be annoying. He has some options that can help him out in Trick Room as well. Like, All Creamy is kind of slow, so Trick Room, yeah. Like, if it was an option, like, one gotta like think about it before. Gotta think about like how to play it, right? There's Hisui and Gudra. That thing's a wall. I used that last season, and thing does not die. But maybe or maybe not. Might have found a way around it. We'll see. Um, there's Milotic. That thing can do competitive stuff. So if its stats are dropped, it will gain a +2, I believe, special attack boost, or is it only +1? People can correct me on that if like if they want to. There's also Mudstale. You don't want to hit that with a physical move, Mod still has stamina, and well, that just enables stuff like body press. Mod still can be pretty scary too, so there's also Malamar, so a superpower contrary is a factor here. Basically, it is a very strong team, but I'm gonna do my best to keep my win streak going and not lose. Because we want to freaking go all the way. And the first 5 weeks, I feel like, aside from Ty getting his very much deserved redemption, I don't think any of the losses should have happened. Like, we could have done way better. We at least got a win before mid-season, and now we're aiming to do our freaking win streak. There's no room for doubts here. We gotta believe that we can do stuff, and we gotta believe that we can make it to playoffs, and maybe even to the championship and take that too. Who knows? Alright, I've rambled on long enough. There's only one last thing to say, and that is my usual. Everybody in the PLC, good luck with your matches. This has been Selina, coach of the Area Zero All-Stars, signing off.
Hey there, this is your favorite rookie competitor, Bosh, just doing a little bit for the PLC Voices, because I think that's a really cool platform. And a lot has happened in the past couple weeks here with mid-season. Big shout out to Selina for that huge win, following the story, putting in the work, and then I work with Brian, and when he came into work and he told me that news, I was like, yes. I always want to root for my buddy Brian because he's right there, but like I don't know, I this was the best outcome possible. Also huge this week, I don't want to brag, but I did end Brendan's undefeated streak, and I'm feeling really hot about it. So as a rookie contender, that was really big for me. But next week is interesting because I've been doing a lot of match prep every week leading up to this. But I'm playing against Ian. And Ian has openly voiced that he's developed this habit of basically picking most of his team at random. So that's making it kind of hard for me to decide what to run, how to open, like what my strategies going into it are. Because I'm basically playing against, anything. It could be a team that doesn't make any sense. I think the last time I went up against a team I was really unprepared for was against Jordan, and I didn't respect the Thwacky, and the Mandibuzz just grinded me down. So I think we're gonna have to take a more open and fluid approach to that matchup. We'll see how it goes. And speaking of that matchup, it's the first match I'm playing out of mid-season. And something I didn't quite expect in the mid-season is not so much the amount of trades and the stuff on the wire, but how it changes kind of the overall power level of all the teams. Like, I'm realizing that some mons that I was kind of looking at and debating in the first half of the season are maybe not quite making the cut. Not quite the right stuff for the 6 mons that I'm bringing, and I'm noticing people dropping to the wire some really impressive mons that I would have done some questionable stuff to get on my team in the earlier half of the season. So maybe I'll have some really good pickups. Who knows? Maybe I'll move some stuff around in some weird ways. It's kind of crazy because I changed half my team, and I'm still looking to make changes. I don't know. Kind of my view on my overall strategy has moved around, even though in the first half it served me pretty well. So we'll see how that all shakes out with that increased sort of power level on the wire. And yeah, I've been enjoying playing. So from your favorite rookie, it's Bosh. See ya.
I gotta put some headphones on before I record because New York don't know how to be quiet. It's currently raining right now, so you guys hear little raindrops in the back. I do apologize. But it's Jay. It's the PLC Voices, Season 7, post-mid-season. Let's talk about it. Before I get into my team, the moves I made, I want to quickly give some shout-outs to some of the players in our group. First, shout-out goes to Dan. Dan's having a fantastic year, 6-0, doing great for himself. Completely outplayed me in the match we just had, so props to him on that. I'm hoping the success keeps on going. Even though I still haven't gotten any ice cream, but that's besides the fact. I give a shout out to Ty. Ty's having a really great season. It's probably the best season he's had in the PLC so far. He's built a fantastic team, and I think he has potential to do a lot of damage. I love that he called his shot winning the title. I think that's the confidence that we need from a lot more players as well. So I'm hoping he goes well, man. Hoping it goes well for him. I want to give a shout out to Phil and Selina for getting their first wins this season. I know it could definitely be hard when you start off the season a little bit rough. And just getting that first win feels like such a relief. There's like a pressure kind of lifted off you. So I hope that going forward, they prep with a little bit more relaxation. English is hard, I'm so sorry. With a little bit more relaxation. And, they've been putting in the work. They've been asking people for advice. They've been practicing. So it's nice to see it pay off. And I hope that trend just continues as the season goes on. I want to give a shout out to Ian, who's been dealing with a lot, and still being able to show up on stream every Sunday, providing the content for us as well. Still, even though he has a lot of things going on in the background, very important life things, he's still 4-2, solid record, solid player overall. On the other side of that, I want to give a shout out to Chris, who inherited a team this season, still doing pretty well, having fun with it. I think sometimes, like, when we lose, we sometimes forget to have fun. So I think, he's done a great job of keeping his season both exciting and fun. And I also think he's done a great job on stream as well with his commentary. Am I missing anyone? I think those are the main people I wanted to get. If I didn't mention you, I'm so sorry. I apologize in advance. Everyone's 5-1's doing great. I think no one's really having a terrible year. Yes, I know there's some people like with 1 win, some people who are like winless, but at the end of the day, it's like there's still a lot of game left to be played. Mid-season was... Oops, I just smacked my microphone. I'm so sorry. Mid-season was a chance to really inject some new life into everyone's teams. I think for the most part, everyone has done that from what I've seen. I think of Phil's team off the bat, just the core that he picked up, the move for Overquill, the trades. I think his team is looking really, really solid for the rest of the year. And I hope he does great things with it. And just people who are very open to moving a lot of things. I think of like a Reese is always making moves. Zach is always making moves. I forgot to say Bosh. I was going to say Bosh makes some moves sometimes. Bosh is one of the people who I forgot to mention in my first little shout outs, but his first year, having a great season. He is 4-2, I believe. I'll double check things. Bosh, if I got that wrong, I'm so sorry. Beat me in when we played. That was a crazy match, so props to him on that. But he's very invested. He's very open, and it's been a while since we had a rookie who's easy to schedule with. It's been a very long time since someone came in and they're willing to work with your schedule, no shit on anybody. You know who you are. But good stuff, Bosh. Good stuff. I know his name is Josh, but it's already, Bosh is already in my head. I'm sorry. But yeah, going back to mid-season, I think everyone made a lot of solid moves. I think there was no real questionable trade, questionable drop, nothing like that. I think everyone made moves they felt would make their team a lot better. For me, going into mid-season, I felt that my team was okay, but I think it lacked direction. What I meant to say by that is I had a lot of decent slow Pokemon, and I had a lot of kind of really cool fast Pokemon, Jolteon, and Teleon for like a week, right? Fast, pretty cool Pokemon, slow Pokemon, but like pretty eh. The problem is that I don't think I was too slow, and I don't think I was too fast. I think with the moves I made, I think Trick Room really helped my team, but it didn't help as much as I wanted it to, if that makes more sense. I had, I want to say 3 Pokemon that could take advantage of Trick Room, but even then I'd have to, mess around with IVs and stuff. And I think with the speed, I wasn't fast enough that I can, take advantage of having, Electro Web or, Tailwind. In hindsight, I think I could have, but just the feelings of, not having any direction made me a little nervous. Going into the mid-season, and I'm talking about just the entire transfer as window as a whole, I say transfer window, I mean the week 6 window, which is 1 add, 1 trade. The mid-season, 2 trades, 2 adds. Post mid-season wire, 1 add, 1 trade. So in total, that is a total of, let me see. I'm really bad at math, so I apologize. I don't forget this wrong. Let's say it's somewhere from 7 to 8 moves. I don't know what the number is. Again, I'm terrible at math. I'd write an essay before I do an equation. But lots of changes to be done. And for me, I think I really had to pick a direction to go. Leading into the first transfer, I was heavily thinking about dropping Farigiraf, and I've been thinking about that for a while because I like the Pokemon. I think it's a really cool design. I love it, but it just wasn't really resonating as how I thought it would resonate with me. And part of that is my fault. I think I didn't bring it to shine in certain matchups, and I think I could have used it a lot better. And that's something that I will think about in the future. But it just wasn't clicking for me this year. And Sinistcha was something that I really was interested in. I think I had spoken to Zach about it previously before he traded it to Corey. And I was like, you know what? Like, it's a really solid Pokemon. It's very bulky to take down. And it can be a little cheesy at times. And I remember, like, Aris a couple days ago was writing in the chat, like, I want very top tier support Pokemon in my Asterisk, and then so that I can let my non-Asterisk kind of shine. Sorry, I scratched my throat. But that kind of influenced like a little bit of what my thought process was, because I felt like I have the offensive firepower. I just needed a little bit more support options. So I think getting Sinistcha from Corey for Farigiraf was, for me, big. I have a little bit more redirection. To have a little bit more cheese with hospitality. It's very flexible. I can do an offensive set, a defensive set, a trick room set. I think it's very versatile, and I think it's something that I can put to use very well. And even when I picked it up, part of me was just like, do you really want to go this direction? Because now you're leaning more towards the trick room. Sneasler was just dropped on the wire by Phil, and I want to say because I made the trade with Corey for Sinistcha, and I gave him Farigiraf. That was like half an hour before the mid-season window opened. Then Phil ended up dropping Sneasler to the wire. So that was kind of fighting myself with that. It's like, you have the terrain now. You can make Sneasler work. But I was to myself I wouldn't go back to some of the Pokemon I had last year. I gave myself a limit of like 2 to 3. I had Kingambit, I had Hatterene last year. So I was just like, let me give the teacup a chance. And I think it's cool, man. I think it's a cool Pokemon. I'm excited for the future. Trade-wise, and this is now mid-season itself. Trade-wise, trading Haxorus to Sylveon, I think at the time I was down for. I think if I had Sylveon now, I think my team would look a little bit more scary. But again, that's just things that happen. Sometimes just make trades, you're just like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. And Mike's a pal. I don't mind it. He was also kind of, I think if I would have asked him, like, really, like, poked him, he would have probably traded it back to me. But he made his move just based off that trade. So I was like, nah, bro, you keep that. It's okay. The other midseason move was trading Scizor to Phil for Infernape. I think that's a win-win on both sides. I think Phil, because now Scizor is protected by Rain, and it helps out a lot against Trick Room teams, and I think I put in a lot of work for him. For me, on paper, I don't think it looks as good for me, just because I'm kind of already had Hariyama for a Fake Out Fighting type. But I just think Infernape plays very, very different. It's faster, it has a little bit more access to some support moves, and I think the versatility on it is very, very underrated. You can go physical, you can go special, you can go for like a pivot set. It's something that I think will help out a lot for my squad, since I have a lot of bulky Pokemon. And wire drops, we dropped Inteleon and Weavile, I believe, for Rillaboom and Rotom Wash. Rillaboom I had the first season where I joined late, and I didn't really think it needed an Asterisk in the Uber season. That's something that I would that's a hill that I'll die on, Zach. I'm sorry. I apologize. but I don't think I really knew what to do with it that season. I think it was kind of just the rust upon me. So I think now a little bit more experience, a little bit more just watching like my colleagues in the PLC top players use it. I think I have a better understanding of like what it does, because what it does is just terrain grassy glide pretty much. But yeah, I think the getting the terrain was huge. Besides like that, I've never really used any terrain besides when I had Rillaboom that first season. Now I think I didn't really see the possibilities. Now I think with this squad, the possibilities, now I can see there's a lot of potential there. I have a very solid bulky Pokemon that can take a fair amount of hits. So the grassy seed in there, that helps a lot. The healing of grassy terrain, bulky Pokemon, that can be something like a little clutch down the line. The protection against ground type moves, not only like Earthquake, Bulldoze, Magnitude, that opens up a lot of doors for some shenanigans with a certain king on my squad. But hopefully more on that as the season goes by. But Rillaboom to me is dope Pokemon, such a solid threat. Like no matter what, Wood Hammers under the terrain hurt. You get access to that priority. Can pivot out, fake out. Of course, it's a very amazing Pokemon. It was first pick last year for a reason. Rotom Wash. I haven't had Rotom Wash in a while. It's been a couple years since I last had it, but very bulky, solid pivot, can support in a fantastic way just by crushing the other team with status as well. Combine that with now Gliscor, who's also very bulky, who can sometimes be very slept on when it comes to its offensive power after a Swords Dance and just how long it can stay on the field. I just think that's a combo that I really wanted, and it's a combo that I feel comfortable with as well. And just from just scrims that I had, I think it's going really well. Again, there's a chance that everything could change. This is just mid-season, so a lot of weak slot trace be done. So that's a chance that could change. But as of right now, I'm happy with what it is when it comes to the moves I made. Post mid-season, which was me dropping, I believe, Haxorus from Mamoswine. Again, with Haxorus, I was just like, after the trade, I kind of regretted it. I thought I could make it work, but just things such as like Mold Breaker, Earthquake, like I don't want to hit my own Rotom by accident. And knowing me, I'd probably do that by accident at some point. So I just felt like it's dope. I don't think this is the year for me to run it. And that's okay. That happens, you know what I mean? It felt weird because I'm like, damn, I kind of like wasted a move. But it's whatever, man. You know what I mean? We all have make mistakes. It's okay. Picking up Mamoswine for Haxorus to me was a really solid pickup. I love Mamoswine. Like everyone who knows me knows the infamous Zgrass Liepard. For those who don't know, I will briefly explain it. In Sun and Moon, I was going against Ian. He had a Liepard. I had a Mamoswine. My initial assumption was because since Ice is super effective to grass, I thought that Mamoswine being Ice ground, that I would get a grass resistance, so I would take a neutral hit since I'm still ground type. I did not know that wasn't the case. So Ian ended up forgot the name of what the move was. He ended up Z-grassing my Mamoswine with his Liepard, and that ended up winning him the match because when Mamoswine lived in the run back, I won. But it was, that's hindsight. The surprise was already shown, so that's always a nice memory when it comes to Mamoswine. A nice fun memory. But love Mamoswine. It's probably one of my favorite. Like if I had a top 10 of favorite Pokemon, it'd probably be up there. And I say that a lot, and I repeat myself when I say I love this Pokemon. But Mamoswine for sure is like a top 10 like pick for me, like easily. The design, everything about it. Hits very hard. He has access to a couple great abilities. I think my team being very physical heavy. Intimidate kind of like might try to put in some work, but I have a decent abilities like Oblivious, Defiant, Hyper Cutters, things like that can kind of like help out with that. Mamoswine's again, it's there just to revenge kill. It's there to hit hard, and it's a solid Pokemon. And that window, that post-mid season window, the biggest kind of debate was Sableye Mamoswine. I remember speaking to Zach, and Zach was like, bro, I don't think you really have like too many great support options. You know what I mean? And So I think you should Sableye, consider Sableye. And he's like, but Mamoswine I think will also be really good book for you. And I think it's just like, whichever you pick, I think you'll be fine with. I want Mamoswine just because, again, love it. Hits very hard. With Sableye, I think Prankster is nice. It's very nice. It's a very amazing ability. Sableye is such a dope Pokemon. Quash, Will-O-Wisp, Taunt, just things like that. I'm a little happy with the support options that I have. That could change. So when he said that, I didn't necessarily agree, but I also didn't disagree, because I think picking up Sinistra and having Pachirisu there as well. I think Hariyama, Hariyama can be an offensive threat, but it's also, for me, it's also been really solid fake out support as well. And I think Infernape can play a decent support role as well. So I thought that we're pretty good on support. But again, that could change. But that's the reason just for going for Mamoswine. Great priority, great bulk, very solid offensive stats. I think Ice Ground hits the most, the most type super effective. Combination wise, I think in the entire game. And the trade I made was Jolteon for Snorlax, and I think this pretty much wrapped the bow on this kind of slow bulky core that I have. Because again, like I said earlier, I feel like I had to invest into one. I had to either invest into having something hyper offensive with Trick Room, but again, I didn't feel like I had anything too fast or too offensive to kind of make that a possibility. If I got Sneasler, that would have been a different story. But again, I didn't really want Sneasler this year. So I was like, the only really option now is kind of just invest fully into this bulky Trick Room core that again we want Trick Room up, but I think we can take a couple hits and we have our decent support options now where we can kind of manage without it. And again, we'll see. Only time will tell. But I want to Snorlax back just because, I had it in the beginning. I traded it for Skeledirge. I think Skeledirge on my team has been fantastic. I think I need to bring it more in better situations. But it bugged me how I didn't really do well with Snorlax. I didn't do well with it at all. The couple times I brought it, it was just mostly for a safe switch and ended up just dying the next turn. I think about the match I had with Josh where the bulk up Hariyama, and I was like, damn, realistically I should have just let the Samurott I had at the time die and then bring a Snorlax for the late game to help in the Trick Room. But I just things, just different thought process at the time, just different ideas in the moment. But I really wanted it back. I feel like if I got one more solid Trick Room Pokemon, I think that was one thing I was missing. I had Hatterene, I had Hariyama, I just got Sinistra. I can kind of play it around with King Gambit's EVs if I wanted to, but sometimes I don't really like to run the super slow King Gambit just in case. I was like, I feel like I needed one more solid Pokemon on the Trick Room that can be annoying, that can kind of be a little versatile. And I really wanted Snorlax back because I wanted to redeem myself with it. And yeah, she was looking to get some more speed to complement her Trick Room core, and she was like, I'll take Jolteon. And I was like, let's do it. And I'm very excited to have Snorlax back on my team. I think with its HP, with its bulk, with the Grassy Terrain, with the Hospitality, with moves Sinistra gets, with Pachirisu's help, with Infernape helping boost it up, there's a lot. The situation I had before, it wasn't the greatest. It was a really bad situation for Snorlax. Now I think we're in a lot better of a spot to take care of it. And again, I could be wrong. I could do absolutely terrible for a season, but I do feel a little bit more confident in what I have now, and I think my team has greatly improved. And I think there's a little bit more options for a lot of the things that I want to do. Are we gonna go first? Probably not, but I'm excited. This is again, everyone who's helping me knows that I love the bulky Pokemon. I love them to death. So I guess we kind of reverted back to that, but the cast is a little bit different. I've never had a Hariyama. I've never really used Snorlax's effects. Sinistra, first time using it as well. Gliscorch, things like that. It's nice. I've never used Infernape, So I've been trying to just like, again, things I didn't want a lot of things I had last season. I told myself just 2 Pokemon at most, but just being open to new Pokemon, trying new Pokemon, and I think overall this is the first time I've been as active as I've been with trades, and just overall in the group. It's been a while since I was this active. Like I message Aris every week, and Aris, I'm gonna stop. If you're listening, I'm gonna stop. I'm so sorry. I know Aris hates to see my Discord bubble appear, but he's been a great help this year when it comes to just overall team composition and just certain moves that I think I should make. Zach as well. Zach's always someone who I often go to and ask him for his advice, and Zach sometimes does a thing where he doesn't give me the answer directly. He'll kind of just drop some hypotheticals, and that's kind of just like a nice way to kind of think about things more in depth. And yeah, props to them. They're fantastic. There's a reason why they've won as many championships as they've won. We're going on 22 minutes, so I just want to wrap up briefly with just again my thoughts on the season overall. I think my season's okay. 4-2 is not bad. The 2 losses that I had with Dan and Josh, those could have been, that could have went either way. I think Dan pretty outplayed me. Josh, if I brought the right Hariyama, maybe I would have won that match. But again, who knows? And yeah, I think there's a lot of game left to be played. I think I'm currently, like, as of this recording, this is currently 3:44 p.m. On, I think this was the 27th, whatever day it is. I think I'm like in 8th and 9th place. So I would face like the person directly below me, which is Aris, which I think is like hilarious. But I think there's a chance. I think we have a chance to sneak into the top 4. We would need some help, but I think with the way the team is looking, with the way the schedule is looking, I think we can sneak a top 4 spot. But again, if not, I've been in the play-in almost every year. I enjoy the play-in a lot. I think the 2 out of 3 format is a little bit more fun. It's more of a chess match because you kind of see the person's like, that's what I'm looking for. You kind of see like the patterns in their play style, and I think that makes it a little bit more fun as well. You don't really have to beat yourself up that much on an error because you have another chance to deal with it. But I sweep all the time, man. Just being it's playoffs, man. And this regular season stuff really doesn't matter. I said that in my first voice episode, and I said it in the stream chat a couple days ago. But yeah, that's my season so far. Hopefully, we trend upwards. And yeah, man, it's been a pleasure playing with all you guys. As of right now, we still have the rest of the season to go. I hope you guys enjoyed your rest break. Good luck. Prep well. Don't be afraid to reach out for help. If anyone wants to practice or scrims or anything, my line is always open whenever I'm available. Just let me know. And yeah, man, good luck. And I'm really bad at outros. I'm so sorry. Am I missing anything? I don't think I'm missing anything. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in chat.
Hey, PLC family. Man, it's actually really hard to condense my thoughts of the season and the transactions that's happened. There's so much that, happened, right? So it's really hard for me to judge these teams without going really long in the tooth about it, something that's already really hard for me. But quick shout out to Dan going undefeated this season. You love to see it, man. It is not easy as someone who has gone a number of weeks undefeated, 6-0 now. You love to see it, man. Good job, Dan. We all knew you could do it. You're definitely a player of high caliber, so glad to see you, getting your flowers, man. Keep going, man. You're already halfway there. See if you can go undefeated the whole way through, man. It's not impossible. Go for it, bro. Jordan H. proving why he's got a ring on his finger. You love to see it, man. He's really giving this season his all. You love to see it. Definitely love to see it. And I give him a lot of shit. And I mean, everybody knows I give this man a lot of shit. But Ty, man, I don't know what it was about this season. Maybe the youngster Joey jokes really got to you, but you're really giving it your all this season. It is showing, man. You're doing hella good work. Dire Claw be going crazy, and you just putting up hella good numbers, man. Good job, Ty. Keep it up, dude. Really. Yeah, man, you're doing a great job this season. Love to see it. Brendan, and Brennan really wants to really get that ring, man. He's a little bit bittersweet about how that one finals match went. So he wants to put his hat in the ring in finals one last time. So let's see if he can get there. I think he's definitely got the tools to succeed for sure. Definitely. So anyway, that said, let's just jump right into these teams. I'm gonna kind of give them like a ranking. I'm just gonna try to loosely talk about the changes, with these teams. Yeah. Hold on. My phone's doing something stupid. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I want to just loosely talk about these teams real quickly. Kind of give them a grade on the changes and stuff they made. So, first up's my team. I don't even have to look at this team. It's 11 out of 10, 15 out of 10. S tier, A rank. This is a team that sparks joy. Yeah. What more needs to be said about it, man? I mean, T-Tar, Kamoa, Clefable, Chef's Kiss. Chef's Kiss. Nothing needs to be said about this amazing, perfect team. Nah, but seriously. Changes that I made. Not a lot of changes, honestly. Gothitelle, Gastrodon, Whimsicott, and Hitmontop. Some pretty big changes for me. Gothitelle and Hitmontop definitely give my team some more flexibility, more versatility. Definitely add a layer of things you have to prepare for. So that already makes an already, in my opinion, scary team a little bit more scarier. So we'll see how that plays out for sure. But yeah, overall, I think I did pretty okay for myself. Whimsicott is definitely a force to be reckoned with. So take that how you will. Next, we got Corey. Now, Corey has been putting in hella work with Garchomp and Yanmega. Now he adds to his roster the likes of Gyarados, Talonflame, Magmar, Tinkaton, and Superior. His team's looking pretty freaking scary. Talonflame specifically has a lot of really good synergy with Garchomp, like with that EQ spam and, priority tailwind. Definitely, not afraid of a Dragapult now. Garchomp is definitely going to be running amok with this team. He's got a really good supporting cast now of team members that really going to put the fear of God in you. Specifically, one thing that Corey kind of struggled with was that it felt like his team was a little bit hard carried by Garchomp, but now he's got a really good supporting cast of members like Talonflame that are next to some of these threats. I'm not going to really talk too much about who I would be afraid of the most, but there's one name on here that's kind of got me afraid if I had to play against him right now. Thank God I got that match out the way, right? Next, we got Corey. All in all, you got some great support options now. Great job on your moves, man. I would give this honestly, a minus grade as far as the changes go. You did good. You got some really good support options. Good stuff. All right, SB. So he drops Duraludon for Gudra, Hisui and Gudra. Let's see here. He picks up Alcremie. Not the biggest fan of Alcremie. I've been pretty adamant about that, but hey, do you? We got that's an inside joke for Ty. We got Malamar here now, so he can do some really cheeky, gimmicky stuff with that. Really cool stuff. Contrary is always going to be a problem, especially in a format where so many things can intimidate. You're just risking Malamar running amok. So take that how you will. Definitely gives him some solid trick room options too to use with Gudra. Don't sleep on that team, man. It could definitely come and surprise you, for sure. Yeah. All these moves considered, not like the craziest moves, not bad moves per se at all, but nothing like. I don't know if this breaks his team necessarily, so to speak. I'd say I give it a B. Maybe that's a little generous, but I give these moves a B. Overall team score is a B. That's how I feel. All right, we got Jay Delgado here. Jay Delgado has made a lot of moves. He picked up Sinistra. I'm not sure if that was on this period. I think so. But he gets Sinistra. He picks up, I believe that's Infernape. Was that Infernape on this wire? Yes. He picks up Infernape. He picks up Rillaboom. He's now got Mamoswine and Rotom. And I think he did acquire Snorlax in this period. So, yeah, he's really rounding out his Trick Room core, like, really heavy. Snorlax is a great addition to that. Rillaboom is amazing. You know, it standalone, just really powerful mon in general. And, like, the thing about it is, like, you like, Rillaboom is just a force. You know, if the Trick Room is up, if the Trick Room isn't up, Grassy Glide is going to go crazy regardless. So it doesn't really, like, matter what you try to do against it. You know, it's just always going to go crazy. So, and it's just a really good option in general, both as a support and an offensive mon. Definitely can't sleep on that. One of the best mons in the draft by far. Mamoswine and Rotom Wash. That combination of mons in itself is just terrifying. I'm sure you'll see it in future matches, those two teaming up together. Very scary stuff. All in general, coming from Jay Delgado's team. Yeah. This is A plus. A plus. Definitely one of the scariest teams that got shaken up for midseason, for sure. Yeah, amazing moves, man. Great job, Jay Delgado. All right. And now we got Speakman here. Speakman, holy shit, he used almost every possible move he could. He used so many moves, I barely even remember which ones were actually new additions. So we got Klefki here, great support option. Clodsire, I think, maybe. Baxcalibur was definitely a good pickup. He picked that up off the wire as soon as it dropped. Good acquisition. I believe he did trade for Hariyama. Yeah. Ursaluna, Dusclops, and now he's got the Psychic Terrain with Indeedee. He moves a rain for Orisa's Psychic Terrain, and man, those teams are looking real fierce because of it. This is definitely a trade that mutually benefited both players. So good job, Speakman. Definitely, considering the team that you had before to work with, that's an A rank. A rank moves, man. Psychic Terrain, we always love Psychic Terrain here. So good shit. Now Reese. Okay. He now has the rain, and with the rain, he's got Basculegion Female, great pickup. Goldengo is definitely gonna appreciate that rain in the back too. And he's got Murkrow to make sure that Make It Rain goes off quick as fuck. So, yeah. Arisa's team, scary as fuck. You better have wide guard. And it better be a good wide guard user, because his team's looking fierce. Just saying. Yeah, A plus moves, baby. That shit's crazy. That team goes nuts. Just saying. Now we got Ty here. Ty. Let's see him here, man. So I think he kind of got I wouldn't say guilt tripped. He got harassed to trade that Gallade for Gardevoir. That was some straight, like, bullying shit, but it was funny. He was like, give me that shit. Give me this. It's like, okay, damn. But, yeah, we got Ursaluna Blood Moon here with Mimikyu. It's got kind of like Trick Room options now. That's cool. Greninja is an interesting addition, along with, I think Haxorus is new, right? Yeah. So, Ty making some big moves here. Definitely. Yeah. He's got some Trick Room options. And Blood Moon is a scary motherfucker. Definitely. All right. So for those moves, B plus. Good job, Ty. So Jalen. So there was one move I really try to tell Jalen to grab, but he's going to have to grab it on the next wire. I forgot to remind him to pick that thing up, but it's okay. Jalen goes grab the Galler Wheezing and the Slacking that dropped, so that gives his team a little bit more dimension. Definitely something his team needed. His team felt very basic, very bare bones. It did a lot of predictable things, and now this kind of gives his team a little oomph, little bomb stuff. So I mean, these moves in general, I feel like add a lot of dimension to his team now, which is great. Jalen, good job, man. I definitely say this is a B+ move for you. Good stuff. You did good. Ian didn't really make a whole lot of moves necessarily. He picks up Comfey, Rotom Heat. He gets Incineroar and Meowstic. Just standalone good mons all day. Really. Everybody knows that these mons are all really strong and really solid. Yeah. Hey, the rich get richer. That's all I can really say about his team. A good team just gets more good standalone team stuff. But he's a big fan of doing roulette teams, so I guess he wanted the most flexible options possible so that whatever he gets in his roulette teams is just going to be able to work, be synergistic. So, I mean, yeah, I guess it makes a lot of sense when you think about it like that. Okay, so B+. You get a B+, Ian. You get a B+. All right, so Sakuna, we got some moves. We got Ditto. Big fan of Ditto, and we got Annihilate. Did you make any other moves? Maybe you got Weavile? I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure which moves you did make. That don't hate me for that. Maybe you got the Hisuian Samurai. I'm not sure. Sorry. But I do know you got Annihilate and Ditto. It's pretty solid moves on your part. Annihilate is a monster. Yeah, Annihilate's a monster. And being able to choice scarf Ditto into whatever problematic threat is on the team is always going to be great. So, definitely solid moves for you. The only thing I feel like maybe, I mean, a Ninetales was a solid pickup for your son stuff. But, I would say, you know what, I would say C+. C+ moves. You didn't do too bad. Ditto is a force, and Annihilate is a mon that everyone always is going to have to respect. So, solid moves, Sakuna. I'm definitely interested to see what you do with that. All right, so we move on to the lower bracket. We're going to try and run through these a little faster. I know, again, I'm pretty long in the tooth with this kind of stuff. All right, so Brian. Brian finally gets that Cerulean Edge. Freaking bugged the fuck out of Bosh until he finally gave up and said, you know what, fine. So, yeah. Picks up the P2 also that Bosh ends up dropping and ends up getting Lilycole on his team. So he's got Torkoal and Lilligant. Honestly, his team was very boring before this. So, like, now it feels like his team has, like, some pretty interesting and scary threats that you have to prepare for. So, Lilycole is not easy to deal with necessarily, and you know, he's also got solid Trick Room options as well. So, it's gonna be really hard to prepare for his team. Definitely. Solid fucking moves, Brian. Definitely a lot more interesting than the other shit you had. So, altogether, give it a I give it an A-. A- moves, man. Yeah, good stuff. Definitely good shit. Brendan. Okay, Brendan. So Brendan gets a Hail Mary thanks to Phillips' move and picks up that Sneasler he dropped. Crazy addition to his team. Really, gives his team that much needed speed control and speed, like just in general speed tier and general crazy ass mon to have on his team. Along with Alolan Ninetales. I'm not sure how long he's going to probably keep the Alolan Ninetales, but I mean, hey, for right now, it's here. It was here along with Bax Caliber before, but obviously Sneasler was an option that was a little bit too attractive for him not to take. Understandable. So, Yeah. He ends up picking up a Clefairy that he later trades to J-Wade for Cleavor. He actually hit me up about this move. He was wondering if it was actually worth it, and I felt like, yes, like Clefairy, one of the best support options in the game, but Brendan's not hurting for redirection. Cleavor is a monster. That thing hits like a fucking truck. Like, not a lot of shit's gonna live those sharpness boosted moves. And Stone Axe is crazy. So, in my opinion, yeah, that was a good move, in my opinion. But hey, other than that, I don't think he actually made a whole lot of big shifts because obviously a lot of things changed here and there. So, yeah. Good shit, Brendan. Out of your moves, I would say, B plus. I give it a B plus. You did pretty good. Yeah. Selina. Okay, Selina. So, you kind of do some stuff all over the place, don't you? Let's see. You pick up Hisuian Arcanine, giving your team some much needed priority. Good stuff. Very good move for you. And Intimidate's always going to be great. Chandelure is also pretty nice. Helps set up Trick Room and stuff. Good stuff. Palmont, Azumarill. So you got some pretty hard hitting Pokemon on your team right now. Good stuff. Venomoth also helps give you a little bit of redirection. Pretty cool. Jolteon is one of those trades I was kind of wondering, like, why is this here? But hey, do you, man? But I mean, sorry, I don't mean to talk trash. I'm trying to be more positive because lately I've been kind of a bully, and I acknowledge that. So, trying to be a nicer guys. I swear. Ultimately though, I feel like the going for more options that have priority so that you have things that work in and outside of Trick Room is really good. You got yourself some redirection, and you got yourself some general utility stuff. I think you did good. I think you did really good. B plus. B plus. The moves that you got weren't like bombs, but they were things you needed. And I think that's worthy, that's valuable in itself. Yeah. Good job, Selena. You didn't do too bad. All right. We got Dan here. So Dan like kind of plays hot potato with his asterisk for a while here. It's kind of interesting to see that. But he ends up with in some way, in fashion form, he ends up with a combination of Farigiraf, we got Palafin, Houndstone, and Sableye. Yeah. Solid moves. I like to joke around with Dan that he's kind of got like a little like great value sand team, but this Houndstone is gonna definitely put in some work. Last respects is something that everyone has to respect. So and Hippowdon's bulky. Like unlike Tyranitar, I would say in some degree, Hippowdon is a lot harder to one shot, like a lot harder to kill and get rid of. So like that beefy motherfucker gonna last a while. So the chance of last respects getting some work in is high, definitely high. Palafin also gives Dan that much needed priority to his team, something that his team has lacked a little bit. So good stuff. Sableye, just annoying ass motherfucker. And yeah, I think the moves he made are pretty good. I'm gonna give it a B. He did pretty good. Yeah. Bosh. So Bosh has been the Trick Room savant for a while, and bro kind of hard shifts a little bit. A lot. So now we have a team with Dragonite. I think Quaquaval is new. He picks up OG Arcanine. So he's really like he was also like one of the and he also picks up Glamora. I talked to Bosh a little bit about his team was a little bit too much hard Trick Room, a little predictable, and now he's got some more flexibility with his team comps. He has a lot more priority now so that he can hit hard in and out of Trick Room. Good stuff. You always want stuff like that. Dragonite is a force of a mon. Great shit. Um, yeah. Good moves all around. I wasn't a big fan of him dropping P2 just because I felt like P2 put in fucking work on his team, but maybe he really felt like he needed that fire slot, that intimidate, and I respect it, and it's a good mon. Arcanine's great, so definitely like you can't go wrong with moves like that, right? So good shit, Bosh. I would give these moves an B plus, B plus, B plus, B plus. A lot of B pluses out here. Yeah. All right, Jordan H. So Jordan H. Rounds out his rain team with Basculegion Male. Big move. I believe he picks up Crocodile. Crocodile is intimidates, scary face, all that kind of good shit. Let me see. I don't think he makes a lot of big shifts. I mean, he gets Drift Blim from Selina, so that's really nice to have with his terrain. So yeah, like quiet moves, but strong moves. Basculegion is a force to be reckoned with, whether it's adaptability or swift swim. And Crocodile, it gives him that utility and ground slap. So, good shit, man. I would rate these moves like I said, they're quiet moves, but they're good moves. I'm gonna say C plus. I'm gonna say C plus. Not like in a bad way, because they're good mons, right? But I'm gonna say C plus. That feels like a comfortable spot. Just because there wasn't a lot that changed, but not in a bad way. You polished up something that was already good and already working. Nothing wrong with that. That's great. So next we got Phil. Phil, holy shit. So everyone and their mother was gonna try and get Archaludon this weekend. At least that's what we thought. And Pelipper, and bro just says fuck it. This Neasler shit hasn't been working for me. I'm dropping that shit. I'm getting Archaludon and Pelipper, and he gets both uncontested. Uncontested. You would at least think maybe he might get one of them, right? Now he gets fucking both. My man's fucking floored it, man. He got him. I couldn't believe it. Like, so many people talked about wanting this Pokemon. I mean, I at least talked to like probably freaking 5, 6, 7 people talking about Archaludon. He secures the dub, man. He secures it, man. Crazy shit. And God, does his team change so much because of this. He also picks up Overquill for his Rain team now. He trades for Slowbro from me, giving him some Trick Room possibilities and stuff with his slow Ishmons, So, and Rhyperior also gives him a little bit of Lightning Rod stuff, so cool stuff. Ultimately, just for the simple fact that he had the balls to go for Archaludon Pelipper and got both. Out of all of like how much the teams have changed over the weekend, S plus, man. This is probably going to be the only team other than mine that gets an S plus, but S plus moves, Phil. Crazy fucking work. That takes balls, man. I mean, you saw something on your team that was not working for you. You tried. It was not your dig. It was not feeling cohesive. It was not feeling great to play with or pilot. And you just said, fuck it. I'm taking a gamble. Give me the best shit in the draft. And that move paid off for you, dude. Good shit. Yeah. Good shit. I think you could probably benefit from another water type Swift Swimmer just to use alongside Overquill. But other than that, great shit. You did good. Good stuff. Next we got let's see. Justin, I don't actually believe makes a fuckload of moves at all. He does not have a third asterisk. Did he? Am I tripping? Yeah, your boy doesn't make any moves really. I think he trades for Corviknight from Dan, but that was about it. Okay. So maybe I'm just tripping here, and I just don't see something obvious. But yeah, I think he trades for Snorlax from Ian and Corviknight from. Oh, that's right, because he picked up the Meow Stick, and then he trades it to Ian. Okay. Um. All right. So he picks up Snorlax. He picks up Corviknight. Um. I'm giving this a D. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because it sounds harsh. I'm giving this a D. And the reason I say that is because it's like you got this Snorlax, you got this Corviknight, you don't have any access to Trick Room up, dude. Like maybe consider this weekend when you make your wire moves, pick up something that got Trick Room, man. There's plenty of stuff still on the wire that gets it. I think it could add a lot of dimension to your team and give you a little bit more flexibility. I mean, like you got Gallade, but Gallade is not what I would say is an ideal Trick Room setter. Um, your team could use a little bit of polish, I would say. So D, yeah, D. I'm sorry, buddy. I hope you get some moves here that could help make or break your team for you, buddy. Or I mean, at least enjoy what you're playing with. I guess in that broad sense. But yeah, Jay Wade. So Jay Wade makes a couple moves. He finally moves that Magmar. He's been dying to move. And gets Umbreon, Grafaiai, Clefairy. I believe he picks up Dusclops, but I'm not sure if he picked that up over the weekend. His Typhlosion, his Wing Typhlosion, Venusaur, and Garganical. Um, a lot of shifts, a lot of big moves. And honestly, great. His team was for the longest time. If you looked at Jay Wade's team, it was a bunch of fire types and a bunch of grass types. His team died to Earthquake, like straight up. Like if he played Corey, he was fucked. But yeah. Let's see here. His Wing Typhlosion gives him that fast eruption, can't be faked out. It's gonna be pretty scary along with the sun, man. Definitely something you have to respect for sure. Venusaur is also gonna be a nasty ass motherfucker along with Sun. Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm really glad you did not listen to Ian when he told you to grab that Torkoal, because I'm like, yo, your team is great the way it is. Like you got that fast Sun, that fast power off the rip. Like, nah, man, Torkoal would have been bad for your team, honestly, in my opinion. But that's just me. Anyway, Clefairy and Dusclops, some of the best support options for both Trick Room and just in general utility. Grafaiai is a great mon, and Garganical is a good threat to have for Trick Room. So it's going to be really hard for people to prepare for your team, because on one hand you have like the fast, hard hitting power of Eruption and Sun, and powerful offensive threats like Venusaur, and then on the other end of the spectrum you got these powerful mons under Trick Room like Garganical and Dusclops and Clefairy. So yeah, I feel like people are gonna really struggle against you now. Big moves, man. Great job. For sure. I would have to give this A minus. A minus feels good. You did good. And God. Mike's team is terrifying now. He picks up Dragapult, Excadrill, Serena, and let me see. Yeah, not a lot of moves, but important moves. Excadrill and Dragapult add a crazy dimension of speed to his team and power. Really strong, hard hitting mons. Crazy good work, and Serena kind of helps those mons not die to stray mock punches or anything. So yeah, big fucking moves. Mike, you did a great job. Great job with your picks. Truthfully. Yeah. I gotta give him an A plus. It's almost S plus. It's really, I would say out of all the teams, Mike has the team that could win a championship. Yes. Out of all of these teams, I feel like he is probably the closest to winning the whole thing. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, no, S plus, S plus. You and Phil get the S pluses. Great job, guys. I feel like everyone had a great time ultimately with midseason. A lot of people got to talk here and there and do some cool stuff. So, all in all, good shit. Great season, guys. Really loving the energy going forward. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got to say. All right, I talked way too long. Have a good one, PLC family. Later.
Yo, what's going on, PLC? We're halfway through the season. We are officially in week 7. We are post midseason, and again, we're 50% done with the regular season. So we've got 6 weeks in the books. We've got 6 weeks to be played, and you could argue the point that these are the more important 6 weeks because it doesn't necessarily matter what you did in the first half. If you have a strong second half of the season, you'll be fine. So, yeah, I'd argue that these are the more important 6 weeks. This is the more important half of the season. And I actually love this part of the season, too, because it's, we've got, I love the standings races. That's just kind of where I fall every year, where it's like, once we know where we're at and we know how many games we have left to be played, we know our opponents that are upcoming, and we know what a win or a loss can do for not only our position, but our opponent's position. I just love this part of the season. So it's like every year I always find myself, 3 weeks to go, 4 weeks to go, in this case, 6 weeks to go, just excited about, the possibilities of what's going to happen, or what could happen and what's going to happen. So it's my favorite time of the year. It's fun. The matches feel more intense. You look at your matches, you look at your opposition and you say, this is a winnable match, or you go into a match and you're like, I'm playing Aris this week. He needs a win. He's going to be playing well. He's going to be bringing out all the stops to try and get that, but I need this win too, because if I lose, this is going to happen. So it's just I love the time of year that we're at. I love it. It's going to be so much fun. Every week's going to get more intense, and I just absolutely love it. So I'm going to keep my part kind of short because the mid-season did happen, but I admittedly haven't been super involved in the wire this year. My team is kind of at a comfortable spot, so I'm not really aching for change. And I always find myself in that position too every year, but this year specifically, it's like, okay, my team kind of gels, my team kind of works. So I'm not necessarily looking for, what do I need to shore up this position? It's kind of comfortable, and I'm sure that you can look at my team and be like, yeah, what are you talking about? You really need this, you really need that. And that's probably true too, but wire-wise, I haven't been super involved, and that was the case for the midseason as well. So I saw everyone made moves, which is awesome. I made 2 moves. I was, on the fence with some trades. A couple of people here and there had hit me up, and we had kind of talked through some things, but I ultimately didn't make any. But again, I did make the 2 wire picks. Everyone else, I saw their wire picks. I didn't, I wasn't online midnight we headed into it, because again, I'm just not that desperate's the wrong word. I'm not that. Again, I'm not aching for change right now. It's like, okay, this is still here. I'll grab this. That's good for my team. I'll do that. So I'm not really going to talk about the wire too much. Again, we're post-wire, and typically the wire podcast is one of the longer ones, and I'm just not going to contribute to that piece. Hopefully someone else does, if someone else did, but that's not what I'm going to do today. I'm going to talk about the standings to this point, and then I'm going to talk about the schedule, or Week 7 matchups. Because, again, I'm fascinated with the standings, and the matchups contribute to the standings. So this is kind of my bread and butter. So standings. The top 4, Dan, myself, Ty, and Brendan. Dan at 6-0, so a perfect start to the season, literally not dropping a game. And then myself, Ty, and Brendan all at 5-1, so all having really good years. I'm just going to speak to the top 4 really quick. So Dan winning. Dan has always been, historically, is a competitor who it's like, I'm going up against Dan. Dan's not going to roll over. Dan is going to bring a team that's going to compete. Dan is good. It's just that simple. Dan historically has been a tough competitor. And this year, going 6-0 through the first 6 weeks is wild. It's nuts. It's not... Anytime anyone goes 6-0, I think it is kind of surprising because it's like, oh, no one beat you at all? Like, perfect six games? Okay, cool. That's good. So it's kind of surprising, but it's not surprising at the same time because, again, Dan is pretty solid. So me and Ty, I'd say that Ty and I being 5-1 is actually more surprising than Dan being 6-0 because I'm historically like, I could probably look through the seasons and I'm probably, I want to say 3-4, or I'll be 3-3, or I'll be 4-3. I may be 5-2, but then that eventually turns into 5-4. You know what I mean? I'm typically middle of the road. There's been a couple seasons where I've ended not so well. I think last year I was 4-8 and missed the playoffs. So it's like I've got more wins than I did this year than I did last year. So that's kind of saying something. But I'm historically middle of the road. And then Ty, I'd say that Ty is kind of in that same boat. Ty has historically been, middle of the road to even like, again, if I'm, 5-2, that eventually turns to 5-4. Ty has historically been, he'll be 3-4, and then he'll be 3-5, and then maybe 3-6, or go 4-5. And then, I'm not sure how many playoffs Ty's competed in, but he's historically right there with me, just kind of middle of the road. Again, we compete. We always bring a team that's gonna duke it out, but we just don't necessarily have that all-star pedigree. But both 5-1, we're having a crazy season. So, 5-1 is a crazy season. 5-1 is incredible. So, awesome stuff. Brendan and I, we've got a thing. Brendan has knocked me out of playoffs twice. I think I knocked him out of playoffs once. And then I think he beat me. Did I lose to Brendan this year? Let me actually just bounce back really quick. Because I know I actually don't know if we played. Yep, I did lose to Brendan. So that's my one loss. I don't remember the specifics of that match right now, but that was week 4. But yeah, Brendan's good. So Brendan, much like Dan, much like Brian, I wouldn't necessarily say he's on the same level as Zach. Zach is, ridiculous. That's a 1A, 1B competitor right there. But it feels like a lot of the Maryland guys are like, you can't. They're not slouches. They're definitely going to bring a team that's going to compete, and Brendan has demonstrated that he can do that. I think he was in finals. Was it last year? I think last year was Brendan's finals run. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 95% sure. If not, it was the year before, but I think it was last year. But yeah, Brendan he's historically a really good player as well. So him being 5-1 is like, okay, yeah. He's kind of coming into his own because I don't think Brendan has been like at the top of the table like that in past seasons. But he's always like right in the hunt for playoffs. He's a couple weeks away from like a championship run. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he was to win one in this year or in the coming years. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But yeah, that's the top 4. So Dan, myself, Ty, Brendan. And I'm taking a little bit more time just because it is the mid-season pod. Just talking to everyone a little longer than we typically would. But then you've got the 4-2 competitors. So you've got the 5 through 8 in Bosh, Brian, Ian, and Jay. And 4-2 is also a really good season, a really good point, a really good record to have to this point in the season. 4 wins. I was going to say 4 wins is pretty much a lock for playoffs. So regardless of what happens in the second half, but looking at the standings, 3-3 is right there. They're like knocking on the door. So I'm not going to say it's a lock for playoffs, but again, I went 4-8 last year, and I was out on plus minus. So 4 wins is pretty solid, and you've still got 6 wins to stack a couple more, or 6 weeks, to stack a couple more. So there's definitely an opportunity to even jump into that top 4 with this record. So Bosh and Brian, Bosh is actually a rookie this year, and he is contributing to chat. I've seen him a couple times on Voices, and I think I've seen him this week as well, which is awesome. 4-2. He would have beat me. He probably should have beat me, to be honest, because he had me on the ropes. So he very well could be 5-1 right now. But yeah, Bosh is killing it right now. Bosh he's come out the gates on fire in his rookie year, so it's exciting to see what he does the second half of the season. And what he does, I'm sure he's going to be in playoffs, just because I've seen how he plays. I've played him, and again, he probably should have beat me. So Bosh is doing well. Brian, 4-2, another MD guy, another Maryland guy who's just, Brian is low-key kind of underrated. Brian is really good. So don't think that he's just going to roll over in any match that you go up against him, because he's not. And if you think that, you're probably going to lose. So Ian and Jay, 2 OGs. both at 4-2. It's awesome to see them doing well as well. I mean, we're looking at Ian and Jay have been to finals. I want to say, I know they've both been to at least one finals. I think they may have both even been to 2 finals. But yeah, these are finals levels competitors. 4-2 to this point in the season is a great record to have, and it's going to be a great record to take into the second half. Again, stack a couple more wins. You are literally knocking on the door of the top 4. A win here and a loss by an opponent or a loss by someone in the top 4, and you're right there. It's just that simple. So it's going to be exciting to see what they do the second half of the season as well. And then Aris and Mike. So actually, you know what? I'm going to say we got 5 players at 3-3. So Aris, Mike, Corey, and Zach. Aris, Mike, Corey, Zach, and Justin, are all 3-3. And I think there's 2 groups of 3-3 players. And Corey, I'm not going to discredit you, but I'm going to put you in the second group real fast. Because we've got Aris, Mike, and Zach in this first group of 3-3 players. Those are all PLC champions, okay? So 3-3 through 6 weeks. I mean, each of these players is capable of going on a 6-0 win streak. Like, that wouldn't surprise me in the least. Maybe it would surprise me a little bit because, again, going 6-0, there's a little bit of surprise. There's a little bit of element of, wow, that's a really good run. But I don't think Aris lost last year at all in 12 weeks. So it's like each of these players at 3-3, they're technically on the border of playoffs versus no playoffs, and they're all 3 past champions. So it's just a matter of, putting a team together, executing, and I could see them going 6-0. I could see them going 5-1 and ending the season at 8-4. I could see them, they're gonna win another match or 2. So the second group of 3-3 players, in Corey and Justin, you guys are in the thick of it with some pretty good players. So just know that going into these next 6 weeks, you're not gonna oh my God, what are they doing versus what am I doing? No, nothing like that. But just go into your matches, play well, knowing that the people around you are going to be playing well as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, I kind of break those 5 players up into 2 groups, one being prior champions, and then Corey and Justin. I don't know if I think we might have seen Corey in playoffs last year. I'm not sure if we've seen Justin in playoffs, but Justin's having a really good year too. Because Justin, he typically is like, okay, I'm going to bring my favorite Pokemon. I'm going to have some fun. If I remember, well, I do know that Justin loves Lucario, but if I remember correctly, like he may have had, let me see if he has Infernape on his team. Because I just associate right now Infernape with Justin too for some reason. He doesn't. Does have Lucario though, so that's cool. But yeah, Justin has historically been like, yeah, I'm just going to play. What happens, happens. And he's been really cool about that. And but seeing him, like, again, in the thick of the playoff conversation is really cool. So then we've got 3 players at 2 and 4. So SB, Speakman, and Jay Wade. And SB, I played SB in finals. He had a really crazy playoff run that year in Season 5. So he's a finals level competitor as well. And SB, I know he plans accordingly. He sends me spreads with just EV that's like, this mon is text to outspeed this at this level, and the attack investment can so he knows what he's doing. So SB is a fun competitor. Jay Wade as well is a fun competitor, and I don't want to overlook Speakman real quick, but I'm going to speak to you in just a second. But Jay Wade has historically been a competitor who is not an easy out either. So seeing them at 2 and 4, I could easily see them going 4 and 2 in the second half of the season, turning that into they're in playoffs at that point, or will likely be in playoffs at that point. But I could very easily see them going 4 and 2. And then Speakman as well. Like I didn't want to discredit Speakman. I wasn't like overlooking you to jump to Jay Wade in a discrediting way, but I was just gonna mention that you took this team. Were you 0-3? I think you may have been 0-3. Actually, no, 0-2. It's right there on the standings. But yeah, Speakman's technically 2-2 right now. So, 2-2, you could easily extrapolate that into 3-3, and then he's in the conversation for playoffs right now. So, yeah, he started 0-2. He's got 2 wins since, 2 losses, so basically a 500 record. You do the same thing in the second half of the season, that puts you at 5-7. And again, I missed it 4-8 last year. I was on the bubble, so 5-7 would technically get you in. So, Speakman's good. I always remember, it was back in it might have been Season 5 actually, but Speakman was at the top of the table, literally number 1. I was in the bottom spot, second to bottom, third to bottom spot. I can't remember exactly, but Speakman was like, you're really talking from way down there? So I just remember that because Speakman was at the top. You know what I mean? So when he has a team that he's comfortable with and knows how to pilot, he's one of those MD guys, one of those Maryland guys who are just not an easy out. So that's where Speakman's at 2-4. Then we've got Selina and Phil, both at 1-5. Selina and Phil, I know they both take the PLC pretty serious, and they both, plan and prep, and they got that first win, which is, you just got to get that first one. After you get that first one, you start stacking some dubs. But we are, again, at a critical point in the season where it's like, we got 6 weeks to go. I missed playoffs at 4-8 last year. So if you go 3-3 over the next 6 weeks, which is doable, which is entirely doable, that puts you at that 4-8. It puts you in the conversation, but it comes down to like plus minus. It did last year anyways. It came down to plus minus. But yeah, so this is definitely, these next couple weeks are going to be critical for Phil and Selina and Phil, sorry. My eyes just glanced just a little too, yeah, Selina, Phil, 1-5. It's that critical time of the year. A 4-2, that's comfortable, right? A 5-1, that's sick. A 6-0 would be surprising. Again, that's always surprising to me. But yeah, we're at that critical point in the year where you definitely want to start, getting some dubs. One game goes this way, one game goes that way, and that's the difference between a win and a loss. And you just want to try to end up on the right side of that equation more often than not. But yeah, it's going to be a fun 6 weeks for sure. And then Jalen and Sakuna, you guys are in the same situation where 6 weeks to go. At 4-8, I keep bringing up that 4-8 just because I know, again, the player above me last year was 4-8, and I was 4-8, and I was on the outside looking in. So it's like, I kind of think that we may be in a situation this year just because Zach is currently in that 12 spot at 3-3. So if Zach wins, if any three of those players, it looks like four of those players at 3-3, if one of those guys win, or four of those guys win, I mean, they're essentially at that 4-3, and that 4 wins is right there in the 12th spot already. And they got 5 weeks to stack another one. It's like, that's 4-8 did it last year. Someone got into the playoffs at 4-8 last year. I would think that it's going to be similar this year, but you definitely just want to, again, Jalen Sakuna, start stacking those dubs, sooner rather than later, because let's say you do go 4-2 over the next 6 weeks. That puts you at that 4-8, puts you in the conversation for sure. Well, it would have last year, and this year it's going to be interesting to see what that 12 spot, that 12 record looks like. But yeah, just try to get that first dub, try to stack it into multiple, go on a win streak, and we'll see what happens. So those are your standings. I took a little bit more time with everybody this week just because, again, I love this part of the year. It's very every match just feels that much more critical, and I freaking love it. So that's the standings. I don't want to spend too much time talking about it. I probably spent a lot on the front end. And then the last thing I want to talk about really quickly is the Week 7 matches. So I'm not going to make any picks, just going to kind of talk to what I see, what comes to mind. So SB and Selena is the first matchup. SB was 2-4, correct? And Selena's 1-6. Yep. So again, you guys both want to start stacking some dubs now. So this is a good opportunity to try and do that for both of you. And we'll see who comes out on top there. So good luck to you both. And good luck to everyone this week. We're killing it though, right? This has been a good season. Everyone's competing, everyone's chatting, everyone's involved. I love to see it. So good luck to everyone this week. Except for Zach, because I play Zach. So bad luck to Zach. But everyone else, good luck. Mike and Justin is the next match. Mike at 3-3, Justin at 1-5. I'm going to keep tapping back and forth. I'm tripping, both at 3-3. Jalen's at 1-5. Sorry, guys. This is going to be an interesting match at 3-3 because, again, these are the players who are right there at that, I think it's like 8 through 12 is 3-3. So someone's going to end up 4-3 here and put themselves in a really good spot. So that's awesome to see. Good luck to you both. Jay Wade and Dan. Dan, 6-0. Jay Wade, I think 2-4 right now. So Jay Wade, now's the opportunity to try and start stacking some dubs, but this is going to be a tough one for you. So Dan, going for, let's just see how long we keep the win streak alive at this point. Jay Wade trying to shut that down. So good luck to you both. Jay and Jalen. So I'm just tapping back and forth. Jalen and Justin. I keep getting your guys' names confused. There's too many J's in this league. Someone needs to change their name. Not me, but someone else. I joke, I kid. But Jay and Jalen going at it. Jay is 4-2. Jalen, I just looked. 1-5, and I've said it for, I'm going to say it countless times again. I've said it countless times already, but Jalen wants to start stacking some dubs. Jay's still in a really good spot this year. Good luck to both of you guys. Speaking and Brendan, 2 MD guys going at it. This is going to be a fun one. Brendan's trying to keep his great season going. Speakman's trying to, go from that 0-2 start to turn it into a, 3-4 at this point, and eventually turn that into a couple more dubs, a couple less losses. But good luck to you guys. Brian and Aris, this will be a fun one because I know that I'm pretty sure it was last year where Aris beat Brendan in finals. And I think Brian took a little exception to that. So Brian and Brendan have historically known to work together. I'm not sure if they're team building partners. I'm not sure if they scrim together. I'm not sure exactly what the situation is there, but they are historically. I think they're friends IRL, which is cool. But again, Brian took exception to Aris getting that dub last year on some dubious circumstances. So the dub's a dub, but this would be hilarious if it goes to time. This match. Good luck to you guys. Sorry guys, alarm went off and it cut the recording short. My bad. But yeah, I just spoke to Brian and Aris's match, and I mentioned that it would be funny if it goes to time. So we'll see how that goes. Bosh and Ian. Bosh is the exceptional rookie this year. Rookie of the year for sure. I think he may actually be the only rookie this year, so kind of a lock for rookie of the year. But Ian having a good year as well at 4-2. This is actually 2 players who are both 4-2, so this is going to be a really good match. So good luck to you guys. Corey and Ty. Corey at 3-3. Ty at 5-1. Corey is in that 3-3, where he's in the 3-3 record with 3 other champions. I told him to play well because he knows that they're going to be playing well. This is your opportunity to try and cook a little bit this week and play Ty, who is having a really good year to his own merit. So we'll see who comes out on top here. Good luck to you both. And then Phil and Sakuna. Phil, am I wrong in saying he's 1-5? No, Phil is 1-5. Sakuna's looking for her first win. And both of you guys want to start stacking dubs now. And this is an opportunity to do so. So, Sakuna, if you can stack that, or if you can get that first one, the first one may be the hardest, and start stacking some wins after that. Phil, 2-5 would put you in a better position to compete, for a playoff spot than 1-6. So try and get that dub, and good luck to you both. And then Zach and myself, we play. So this is actually a really good match because Zach beat me in Season 7 finals, I want to say, which kind of sucks. I was so close to winning. If I would have had Sucker Punch on Urshifu, I would have won, but I didn't bring it, so it is what it is. But yeah, he did beat me in that finals, and then Zach's an OG. I'm an OG. It's going to be a good one. I'm having a good year. Zach's in that 3-3 where he definitely wants to get some dubs sooner rather than later, and this will be a good match. So, all in all, I think it's going to be a really good. I think it's going to be a really good week. So, I'm excited to see what happens. And I took a little bit more time than I typically would, just to kind of break everyone's standing spot down, break everyone's matchup down a little bit, and I hope you guys enjoyed. So, that's all for me. I will see you guys in chat, and hope you guys have a great week. Peace.